You don't have the money that you want because you haven't spoken out loud about the money that you want. You know what time it is? It is Thursday, and it is time for another Money, Miracles, and Magic segment of the Unleashed Alchemy show. If you are watching on Unleashed Alchemy TV on YouTube, welcome. And if you are listening through the Unleashed Alchemy podcast on all podcasting platforms, thank you for listening in today. Let's jump right into today's episode on money. So I'm going to repeat what I just said. You don't have the money that you want because you haven't spoken it, okay? The reason you haven't spoken it is because the money that you want, you've told yourself that it is unrealistic. All right. You've told yourself that it sounds too big, that it sounds unrealistic. You've also even told yourself that you've never seen anyone around you or in your community to exist with the amount of money coming in every day, flowing in every day as you envision yourself to be in the position to receive. You also have not spoken it because you are too focused on how you are going to get to the money from where you're at right now to being in the existence and in the space to receive the money that you want. All right. Now, how does religious programming play into this? I'm going to start with an example. Okay. So in this year of 2025, in the year of 9, religion is still feeding its followers that to pray, to beg, which is what I consider praying to be, to ask for material things. In this case, we're talking about money. To ask for material things is a sign of greed and ungratefulness. Okay. Just like many pastors, all right, I've heard recently a pastor who is having this moment of her prayer, this moment of begging that she's having, and she's, the image goes, you've got this person who calls himself a pastor, a minister up on a pedestal, and they're, urging everyone in front of them to pray. So you have all of these people with their hands raised up, looking to the sky or looking to the pastor on this pedestal, on this platform. And she's telling everyone not to pray for material things, not to pray for a car, not to ask for a new house, not to ask for money, but to simply be thankful and grateful for what they have. Okay? Now, this message has continued on. It's not a new message, but it continues on and on and on and on and on and on. The issue is there's nothing wrong with being grateful and thankful for what you have. However, the pastors that are saying that are feeding you that message, that are feeding churches and millions of people all over the world, that same message is these same pastors. They have the money that they want. They have the choices and the privileges that accompany the money that they have. They have their trips, they have their travels, they have their cars, they have their clothes, they have their well-perfected wigs. Okay? And this is the same image and spectacle taking place in many churches. You have pastors telling their followers, do not pray for money. Meanwhile, they are taking the money from their followers. Okay. And like I said, they have the house that they want, houses in many cases. They have the cars that they want. All right. They're traveling in ways that they want to travel, that they get to choose to travel. And some will say, if someone is listening to this or watching this, you have some people that will say, oh, well, that has nothing to do with religion. That's just the church. Now, there may be some validity in that if we saw that message coming from maybe a few churches here and there. But this is the overarching message in many churches of the same religious foundation. That is the issue, okay? So, let's keep going. Now, like I said, in both cases, regardless of whether you want to say, oh, that's a bad church, or we could even bring up the fact that you could go into any city, medium size. Well, we don't even have to put medium. We don't even have to size the city, but you could go into any city and you'll find, in many cases, in many cities where there are churches in every single neighborhood. In some cases, there are spots in cities where you will find a church on every single block. And in with those churches that are on every single block, they could be in nice neighborhoods, and they could be in neighborhoods that, quite frankly, look like shit. And they will still give the same message. So meanwhile, you have the church that is in the shitty part of the city. That pastor will still be driving the nice cars, having the nice houses. Meanwhile, followers are being told, don't ask for more money, but then they have to go back to a house that is less than ideal. Some may not even have cars to get to the church. And again, if you have a church that's in what's considered to be a nicer part of the city, the pastor will still send the same message, don't pray for money, but then 5 minutes later will tell you that you need to give tithes and offering because you need to support where you are being fed, where your soul is being fed. Okay? So either way, the foundation of the message is religion. Okay? It is rooted in religious programming. So how has this message, even if you are watching and listening to this and you have left religion, this message has affected your money experience. And sometimes you don't even know it. This is a blind spot. This is why we talk about religious programming and how just walking away from religion is not enough. Just to deconstruct, you have to talk about the identity part. Part of deconstructing is not just going out gathering information on religion and how it was started and the foundation and all of that. It is getting back to your true identity. Okay? So it involves identity work. So how does this message affect your money life? Well, what I alluded to earlier was that you don't say what you want. The money is not flowing in your life. Have you considered that the money is not flowing into your life is because you haven't spoken it? And if you've heard messages of, oh, don't pray for material things, don't pray for money, just only only pray and be thankful for what you have. Hearing that over and over and over again will silence your desire. It will cause you to literally put a lid on your desire. You won't speak it, and you'll try to pretend like the desire isn't there. In this case, the desire for more money. All right. So that will lead into you dismissing what you want, or you'll lie to yourself and tell yourself, oh, I really just don't know what I want in life, which is a lie. Because if you know what you don't want, then you know what you do want, okay? Another aspect of this, another way that this message is affecting your money life, it could bring, and this is something that will be challenging to admit, it will cause you to be jealous and even angry when you see people flourishing financially. Now, flourishing financially, yes, we see the outside, and yes, someone could say, well, somebody may be flourishing financially, but you don't see what's going on the back end. Forget all that. You see someone flourishing financially. You can see it in the homes that they buy. You can see the way that they travel. Everything is elite. They're always VIP status because their money is accompanied with the privilege and the choices to be able to say, I either want to fly first class or I want to fly privately, completely private jet all the way around. That will bring up, if you found yourself in a space where you're seeing someone, and I don't care who it is, and you have jealousy or anger, and that is very subtle. All right. It'll come up in a subtle way. So if you've seen that, if you've witnessed that, if you've seen someone flourishing in financially flourishing, and the first thing that comes to your mind is, oh, did they really need that? Why did they buy a house so big? Why would they buy that? Did they need that? Why did they buy that type of car? That is an indication that you have some jealousy about that person's ability, financial ability. And listen, jealousy, let me just put this side note in here. Jealousy is not a bad thing. Jealousy is not a bad thing. Jealousy is showing you that when you're looking at a person and you're having those questions, okay, you're in a sense judging their decisions in that way and what they purchased and why they purchased it. That is a message and a code for you that what you see them going out to buy, that is available to you as well. And right now in your physical environment is showing you something different. Your reality is showing you something different. But that jealousy is your code to say, well, I also have the raw energy of manifestation to live financially free in that way. Whatever financially free looks like for you. Okay? So now what do you do to usurp this? What do you do so that you can experience the financial liberation and the financial thriving and excitement in your life that you deserve? I'm going to give you this tip. I want you to get 2 pieces of paper, okay? This is an exercise. Doesn't have to take you all day. Only if you wanted to. You can make this as short or as long as you feel, all right? And I want you to find a way to make this fun. I don't care if you have to go outside. I don't care if you have to do this in crayon or another a bright colored pen or pencil. Make this fun. Find a way to make this fun. Have your favorite music playing in the background. Get your favorite drink while you're doing this, all right? 2 sheets of paper. And I want you to look at the money that you have right now in your wallet, in your pocketbook, in your bank account or bank accounts. If you have investments, look at all that. Take the value of your investments, add it to what is currently in your bank account, your savings account, your purse, your wallet. Add that value, add it together to get one lump sum, all right? And I want you to add a 0. Whatever amount that you come up with, whatever total amount, add a 0. I want you to look at that dollar amount. Put that dollar amount on one sheet of paper, one of the sheets of paper that you have. On the other sheet of paper that you have, I want you to write what you want to do with that dollar amount of money. So you're going to have the dollar amount on one sheet, what you want to do with the money on the other sheet. Okay? Once you get through writing that out, I want you to look at the other sheet, look at the dollar amount, add another zero. Go back to your other sheet of paper. Then I want you to keep writing on what you want to do with that amount of money, with that expansion. I want you to add 2 more zeros to that dollar amount and keep expanding your vision. So now you're going to have 2 sheets of paper, one with the dollar amount that has expanded to 1, 2, 3 zeros. Is that how many I told you? Hold on. Yes. And then on the other sheet of paper, you have this expanded vision for your life. All right. Then what you're going to do is focus on what you wrote, the vision. Do you really want to experience this in your life? Sometimes? Or do you want that vision to be your life every single day? That is going to be your experience in some way every single day. You want that vision, that long vision, to be your norm and how you exist. Okay? So I want you to make that vision your keepsake. Put it somewhere. Put it in your purse or put it in your wallet. All right? Now, that other piece of paper with that dollar amount, now this is going to sound like I'm contradicting myself because I told you earlier the reason that you don't have the money that you want is because you haven't spoken it. What I want you to do is take that piece of paper with those dollar amounts and those extra zeros. I want you to throw it out. Why am I telling you that? Because those dollar amounts, those are finite. You are not finite. You are infinite. You are abundant. There is no dollar amount that can capture how rich you are right now. What you wrote on the other piece of paper is proof that you are rich right now. The reason I'm also telling you to throw the dollar amount paper out is because now you've got the focus of your vision. Your vision is your focus. Now you've made it clear what you desire. You say it regularly. You speak it. Every time you speak that vision, you know what you're doing? You are activating money codes to match that vision. You're adding money code. You're activating money codes to bring those desires in. What we'll do is we'll dive deeper into those money codes, your money codes, in the next segment. But I want you to understand that that vision, the money drop will meet that. It's not the other way around. It's not focusing on the dollar amount and then you can go out and get this vision. No, the vision is here. This is what is complete because your words are deeds. So as you speak and activate that vision, you are activating money codes. So like I said, the money code part, I'll dive deeper into that in the next segment of Money, Miracles, and Magic. But I wanted to right now give you that exercise. And I want you to leave me a comment and let me know how that exercise opened you up. All right. Opened you up to more. I want to hear how, yes, you had a vision, but you didn't know how far you could take it. You started to realize you wanted things and you wanted to have experiences in your life that you never even thought of. That's because it's coming from your soul. That's what happens when you start to recognize blind spots of how religious programming has affected your money. All right. But we know as sovereign beings and as alchemists, we can transmute that and elevate and begin to thrive and win all the time as abundant, infinite beings. Okay, so let me know what your takeaways are. Follow me if you have not on the podcasting platforms. If you are new to Unleashed Alchemy on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. You're here watching anyway, so you're going to be here. Just subscribe so that you can know when I drop a new episode. By the way, I'm dropping new episodes at this point almost every day. Okay. I have different segments. On Thursday, I have the Money, Miracles, and Magic segment where we specifically talk about money. Okay. And the negative influences of religious programming. On Monday, we talk about magic. Okay, using our spiritual technology and bringing in those spiritual technologies into our everyday lives. On Tuesday, I focus on activating your throat chakra because we have to get back into the power of our words. Our words are deeds. That is a real and powerful thing. Okay. And then on the other days, I talk about other aspects of our lives that have been negatively influenced by religious programming and how to recognize if religious programming is still operating in your life, even after you have left religion and left the church. Okay. So also another point that I want to make, I am starting Unleash Your Sovereignty is an 8-session live virtual event, all right, where I have 15 spots open, all right, where I walk you through phases. Okay, these are phases that I took myself through that go beyond just deconstructing from religion. You are moving from a place of programming to a place of sovereignty. All right, it took me 20 plus years to do so. That was not necessary. All right. It does not have to be necessary for you. By the end of the program, you're going to know what your spiritual technology is. You're going to walk in it in complete confidence. You're going to recognize blind spots of where programming has been operating in your life. You're going to know how to transmute it so that you can live the enchanted life that you were put here to live. Now, if you want to secure your spot, click the link that will be in the show notes and then in the description box of the video. All right. We start August 31st. These are 8 live sessions. August 31st is a Saturday. They will be every Saturday at 6 p.m. Central. If you cannot make the live, you will get the recording, but you do have to sign up and you do have to secure your spot. All right. So do that today. Also, if you want to work with me one-on-one, all right. I have 2 ways that you can do that. You can buy the 24-session package where we work together through live. Okay. These are live sessions again. And then those sessions are up to 2 hours. All right. And you can also book now with me a one-off 55-minute session, which is also a video session. All right. If you get the theme here, I work with you on video. I have to see you. You need to see me. We both need to be present, right? So take a look at that. Go to unleashedalchemy.com. Also, remember, I have individual courses. I have also ebooks that are also very transformational that you can add to your spiritual bag on your spiritual journey. I also have my first physical product that is at spellandhoney.com. Just go check it out. All right. So thank you for sticking around. We have so much more to talk about. So much. All right. I am so glad that you're here. Stick around. Like I said, we have so much more to talk about. All right. Until next time, be sovereign and be rich.